to the voluntary mandatory. Tell you what, I'm like you. I don't like doing meetings. I don't like going to meetings. But you know what I don't like doing? I don't like losing in life. How many of you guys don't like losing in life? Raise your hand. Come on, raise your hand higher. I said, how many of you guys don't like losing in life? How many of you guys are sports fans? What's your favorite team? You a Texan fan, an Astro fan?
Broncos.
Rockets? Broncos?
Right.
I can appreciate that.
Steelers.
Awesome. I'm a Seahawks fan and a Chicago Cubs die-hard fan. Because I'm from Chicago, born and raised. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you information that's practical. I'm going to give you information that's applied. I'm going to give you information that's proven. We've been in business since 2002. I may look young, but you see all the gray hair up here. I'm actually 50 years of age. I've helped over 1,000 people just like you become consumer debt free. That means owe nothing to nobody. You put something on a credit card, you pay it off in 30 days. You pay no interest. We've done over 10,000 presentations across the United States in over 35 states since 2002. You name a major Fortune 500 company, and we've worked with them. Any of you guys ever heard of this little small company called the YMCA? We've worked with the YMCA national headquarters and helped their directors and their employees who are in similar situations like you guys are become consumer debt free. We've helped a couple of them become financially independent with six-figure incomes. We also have worked with sports players. Anybody ever heard of a guy that used to be very popular here named Brian Ching? You guys remember him for the Dynamo? Yeah. Nobody ever heard of him? They won a whole bunch of championships when I moved down here. You guys are familiar with a guy named Patrick Patterson, who was the first round draft pick in 2010 for the Houston Rockets. Personal friend, used to be a personal client of mine. Why do I say that? Well, a lot of times people want to know about people who they see in celebrity or whatever that to know that you have some validness of proof in the pudding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what the 7 spheres of money is. Basically, everything from cradle to grave is the 7 spheres of money. It starts out with accounting, okay, taxes, insurance, banking, financial business planning, real estate, estate planning, and legal. How many of you guys here, by show of hands, are incorporated? Okay? How many of you guys here, by show of hands, are independent contractors? Okay? How many of you guys, by show of hands, if something happened to you tomorrow, your business and your income is going to continue to grow at the same pace you're making right now? Was one person? Great. Guess what? For the past 10 years, I've been working exclusively with truck drivers. I work with them on every side of the fence. I've helped them get credit lines, helped them get money to buy trucks. I've rented them real estate. I help them invest in real estate. I help them get financial education, college planning, all of that, from A to Z. I have 2 uncles who are truck drivers for over 30 years. So I have a passion for helping truck drivers. Unfortunately, as independent contractors and as self-employed, a lot of times you guys are so busy worried about getting the job done that you don't get the job done in terms of why you're working, which is putting money aside for a rainy day, putting money aside for retirement. And you guys who love to drive, keep driving. But you should put yourself in a position to create passive, strong income where the work doesn't dictate what you do, but you do the work because you love it. Does that make sense? Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So
Make your vocation your vacation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just to give you a couple of quick career highlights of what we've been able to accomplish, I've had every license under the sun in financial services. What does that mean? That just means I know how to pass a test. It means nothing, okay? My real value to you and our team is that we're in the trenches. We've seen everything 7 days across Sunday. And if we ain't seen it, it'll be a first time, but that's very rare. When you've done over 10,000 presentations and you've done rooms from 4 people to 4,000. You pretty much have seen almost everything. Tom Brady, anybody a fan of Tom Brady? I don't expect you to raise your hand, but if you're a winner, everybody here should be raising their hand. I don't like Tom Brady, but I got the highest respect for him because he is a tried and true proven winner. And he's got a blueprint for success. And if he was your quarterback and if his coach was your coach, guess what? The Texans would have already won a championship a couple of years ago. So don't get bent out of shape for me saying it. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to win, just because you got a talent, you got a skill, that don't make you a winner. Okay? So here, we work with the YMCA, we work with Manchester United, we work with the MLS All-Stars. I also had the pleasure and the displeasure working with P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever he calls his name. I was one of his core investors when the NBA All-Star game came down here in 2006. Anybody lived down here in 2006? When they were doing the big event with Magic and all those guys? I was one of the investors behind that. And right here, in 1 hour, we made $120,000. I'm not saying that to impress you, but the reality is, in order to get in certain circles, you got to have certain levels of skill sets. You got to know business, and then you got to know how to communicate with people, and you know how to broker deals. And you got to know how to get out of deals when the deals ain't going right. We've taken a small investment of $50,000 that I hard worked for when I was working at Jobway, and we turned it into $40 million in less than 7 years. Anybody ever heard of this small company called Love's Trucking? And you guys ever stopped at Love's Trucking before? In 2012, we signed a $12 million contract with Love's Trucking to have our bill pay machines in all of their facilities. In 2011, HEB, we signed a contract to put our bill payment machines in 60 of their stores. Why am I sharing it with you? If we're good enough to help them, we're good enough to help you. Only and only if you are receptive to the information. And a lot of times we come to these meetings, what we want to do is check in compliance and be out. Because in the security business, we have to do 2 compliance mandatory meetings a year. And most people in our industry that are the winners and tried, true, proven, they come early, they stay late. And this amazing thing, they always ahead of everybody else because they know what their priorities are. Okay? So, right here, we want to focus on your retirement, your Super Bowl. What is your game plan for 2019 for you to save and invest your way to freedom? Freedom and financial independence is a Siamese twin. You can't have one without the other. So if you're a high income earner and you make $20 million a year, and next year you don't have a job and you've been living at a $20 million a year clip, you're going to be one of those people on that broke video with all the celebrities. All professional ball players, entertainers, high income earners who don't have a plan, 3 to 5 years they're broke and nobody knows about it. Don't let that be you. But 85% of you in this room, you are going to be that person. I hate to tell you that. That's facts. I don't do hyperbole. I do facts. Okay? So here's what we're going to be able to show you, and the same thing that we were able to show Gloria. And here's what I want to share with you. Gloria is a phenomenal person. I've only known her for 2 months, but her story in of itself is amazing. Secondly, she's told me about people that she's helped and it's helped her. And when she met us at a conference just 2 months ago and told us about what she was looking to accomplish, we said we'll try to help her. We came out here to the office about 6 weeks ago, sat down for about 15 minutes. She was like, hey, you know what? I'm buying your module online course right now. And that's like $199. She bought it just like that. Very rarely do people do that. Right after she got the course, 3-4 days later, she called me up. She said, you know what, DJ, Money Coach, I don't only need the course, I actually need somebody to walk me through this stuff and step with me hand by hand. We sat down, we Skyped with her husband, and even though she's got better credit than me, first person I've met in 16 years, got a higher credit score than I have. I have an 815 credit score. her credit score is higher. However, my wealth is 10 to 20 times higher than hers. That's not to brag. When I was 30 years old, I was broke. Piss poor broke. I had come off a cleaning company that I ran for 6 years that I took to almost $8 million. I was what they call new rich. And in the urban vernacular, you know, I was ghetto fabulous. What does that mean? I was buying everything under the sun. I was young, I was single, I was balling. Wasn't keeping nothing. Then one day I get a phone call that my crew don't show up to a site for a multi-million-dollar contract. Guess how much longer that contract was with my company? About 2 months. Gone, just like that. So I went from multi-millionaire status at 28 to at 30, broke. Did I cry ball up into a tear for a bit? Yes, I did, because I'm human. But then I got back on my feet, and I said, hey, man, what's the game plan? What have you been planning for the majority of your life? To be financially independent and not to be broke. Why? I grew up in a 2-parent household from 0 to 6. My father was killed in Vietnam. My mother was single, 2 kids. We went from living in upper crust neighborhood to living in a 2-bedroom apartment, rat-infested, roach-infested, on government cheese, all of that. I ain't making this up. I got pictures and video to show you. And from that standpoint, my mom started making some bad decisions. She started getting married to take care of us financially. Now, I know you didn't come here to hear that, but the reality is, my sister and I were smart enough to know that, hey, Mom, don't, get into a bad relationship because you're trying to financially take care of us. Let's struggle together and work this thing out so it doesn't demoralize your character. But it took my mother a long time to figure that out. And thank goodness, my mother found a man about 7 years later and been married to him for 35 years. And that man taught me about business. He was a business owner. But in the meantime, we struggled. And then we got back up on par, and I went to school, played ball. It was 3 sports, high school player. Played baseball, high school, college, could have played the pros. Played bowling, was a professional bowler, qualified to be a professional bowler. And I dabbled a little bit in football, but obviously I was a small guy, so my mother steered me away from it. Education-wise, I was a straight A student. Through all the ups and downs, I maintained straight A's. Because I was a competitor. At the end of the day, I just like winning. So I'm telling you that because I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I figured some things out, guys, that is real simple, that they don't teach in school. Because if they did, everybody here would be financially independent. So let me share with you real quickly, and I'm going to give you my team. Everything revolves around money. Everything that you do, from your retirement, your freedom, your financial independence, your family, your vacations, where you live, the stress, and the lack of options or multiple options has everything to do with money. My 2 sons are here in the room. They work with me side by side. My 11-year-old and my 14-year-old. I'm very proud of them. That's the most proud accomplishment I have. Being married to my wife, 1 wife, 18 years, and my 4 children. And my children said, Dad, you're money hungry. All you ever do is talk about money. I said, son, I ain't money hungry. It's just the fact that everything we do, 98% is impacted by a dollar bill. Indirectly or directly. And I said, once I learned how business works, I think like multinational companies think. It's just a number on a page and a solution. And everything in between that is just an object. Because money has one goal, to keep moving. Can't eat money, can't get warm with money. Does that make sense? So everything that you do, directly or indirectly, is impacted by money. So you should be focused on getting the money taken care of. The most important money that you will have in your life is passive income. Residual, royalties, where you ain't got to work. I'm here because this is my vocation. I love doing this. I've done it for free, and I've done it for millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, this is what I want to do. We've already taken care of the money thing, so now we're trying to share the vocation with everybody else. So, Let me tell you about how the 7 spheres of money can impact you as a truck driver. One person said he had a corporation, he's got everything taken care of, something happened to him, he keep moving. I applaud him, so y'all should get with him if you don't get with us. Because at the end of the day, it's 3 relationships that every one of you need to have. Proactive, not retroactive, not reactionary, proactive. You need to have an accountant who knows the trucking industry. You need to have an insurance person that knows the trucking industry. You need to have a financial business planner, because even though you don't know it and you are owner-operators, if you're not operating like a business system, you're just a contractor who's trapped in a job that has been paying high income. It can go just like that. Lawyer said one of your colleagues just had an accident this morning. I was roadside hit, blindside by an 18-wheeler in 1992. A UPS truck, almost killed me. Just in the blink of an eye, things can change. These are things that you gotta have, and how they work is that banking access capital builds wealth. If you wanna give 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, you gotta have credit lines. You gotta have good credit. You gotta have relationships at the bank. You wanna know how to execute when things are going well and you have high taxes? You gotta know somebody who understands the industry to get the loopholes to help you massage so you can keep more of your money. Then you need to be smart enough to hook up and put your assets behind things that are not going away. Land never goes away. It's unlimited. But you need to know the model, how to crawl, walk, run. Then you need to protect yourself. Ideas you come up with, headsets people create. You need to patent those. You need to protect your family resources. Then when you are very successful and you're very significant and you have a family, how many people here have family? I see you had children come in. So if you don't do this for you, do it for them. Because this is the most important thing, is the significance. God remove me from this earth tomorrow. My children, my wife, my parents, they're taken care of. Not just because of the insurance policies we have, but because of multiple streams of income that we have coming in that are residual based. Because we own investments in businesses, startups, etc. Have we failed? Absolutely. I've lost the $12 million contract with Love's. It happens. I ain't cry about that one, because after I cried about the first one, I was done. So I don't cry no more. So first thing I'm going to recommend that you do is get some credit counseling. How many of you guys have credit that you are happy with, that you can get anything you want? And how many of you guys want to improve your credit? Be honest, by show of hands. So guess what? That's the first road. So on our 7 spheres of money, we have a gentleman named Demetrius Early that's been doing credit, real credit. I'm not talking about that quick fix, get some lines and all that BS. If it took you 5 years to get a 515 credit score, it's not going to take 5 minutes to get an 800. Again, if it took you 5 years to develop a 515 credit score, it's not going to take you 5 months to get a 680. But you have people out here on TV and these programs selling you stuff and doing this shady, massage and stuff. And for a quick second, you'll have a reflective score. But when they go behind the scenes, you're actually going to be worse off. So, why us? Why Durantsburg International 7 Spheres of Money? Number one, because we're free. 100% free. In 2002, I became permanently financially independent. What does that mean? That means that my income and my expenses were equivalent in passive income. And I had the choice. I was not wealthy, but I had the choice to walk out of corporate America and do what I really wanted to do. I'm going to say that again. That's when your income and your expenses are equivalent. Most cases, you walk when your income is double your expenses after 12 months. If that makes sense. So in 2008, we became multimillionaires. We fired my bosses permanently and we controlled everything. Everything. But guess what? In 2010, we lost everything because what happened in the market? The market crashed, right? The market crashed, that's the reality. But we still had some things that safeguard us and we built back up. Everybody on our team is a certified 6-figure income earner. Everybody in the 7 spheres of money category is an expert. They are not a generalist. Our accountants, they only do accounting. Small business, employment, commercial, that's all they do. Our legal team consists of 4 attorneys, patent attorneys, trademark attorneys, small business attorneys, employment, HR attorneys. That is all they do. Why is that, guys? The real reason is because in my experiences of building 4 or 5 businesses, every time I had a problem with the wrong professional, I went out and found the right one. And that's generally how most entrepreneurs figure out success. So we have a minimum of 20 years of expert as entrepreneurs. Each person in our group has a minimum of 10 years, certified proven success, multi-figure producers. Multi-figure producers. We work with teachers, coaches, truck drivers, and educators. We have proven track records. We work with the non-for-profit, startup businesses, business 501c3s. We help independent drivers become corporations, LLCs, C Corps, limited partnerships. We show you all the tax laws that actually afford you that you don't even know about that you could be benefiting right now. One of the primary reasons why I have my sons here is because they are workers for me, so I can give them benefits before they take taxes out of our money and still live the same way on less earnings. That's what the wealthy do. So the first thing I'm going to recommend you guys do is you read a book by an unknown author called The ABCs of Wealth. It was written in 2008. So let me tell you about my team real quickly. I'm going to bring up my best partner. Our first guy is a gentleman named Gerald Brooks, 21 years as a financial advisor. His office is based in Stafford, and he only handles teacher retirement funds, self-employment funds, and annuities. That is all he does for us. And he's a multi-millionaire next door. Our next guy is the guy I'm about to bring up, Lawrence Blackman. Actually, he has a bachelor's associate from North Texas, not Malone University. He is 8 years expert in health insurance, which most guys that we've experienced over the past 6, 7 years in the trucking industry, they either have okay insurance or no insurance or inadequate. Larry's been working personally for the last 4 years as a health insurance truck expert. He's also a member of, what is the Dallas-Fort Worth? Transportation
Club of DFW.
Larry and I go around the country going to all the major trucking conferences as experts. So Gloria didn't just pull somebody out that was a financial planner. She pulled somebody out just in the industry that's sought after. Larry and I have been working together for 2 years because we met at a conference 2 years ago. And when we realized we had something that I didn't have and he had something that I needed, we partnered together. Larry is a President Club multi-million-dollar producer, and most important to me, Larry is a great father to awesome sons. Larry does not miss any events. How many of you guys honestly sometimes wish you didn't have to be on the road and you could be at an event that you can't replace? Here's what I tell you, hey, kudos to the ones who raised their hands. This is one of the reasons why I built my business. I've only missed 2 events in all 4 of my kids' lives from the day they've been born. I'm going to say that again. I've only missed 2. And the 2 I missed is because one was playing on one side of town, the other was playing at the same time. My wife went to one event, I went to the other. Ain't nothing more important than my children and my wife. You can't give me $100 million for me to miss my son's graduation from the University of Houston STEM project this past summer and graduate #1 in his class at 14 when everybody else is 19 years of age on average. You can't pay me to miss that. Why? Because I experienced that as a kid. So I'm going to bring Larry up here because he's the best business partner I've ever had. And I'm going to let him show you guys the most important piece that you're probably going to get the most out of, not the wealth piece, but the health insurance part that's going to impact you every day of your life, just like the gentleman earlier this morning that had the truck accident. So I'd love you guys to give Larry Blackman a warm applause and thank you for entertaining us.